Hi everyone, today I just felt very inspired to make this orangey red eye look. I think this would be perfect for a fall event like Thanksgiving or if you're just going to like a casual Halloween party. I think this would be really cute. It was pretty simple to make. It was all just with one palette, but you can use whatever kind of colors that are similar that you have at home. I also wanted to say I'm sorry about the weird lighting in this video. The sun is setting and basically it kind of killed my vibe through this video because it kept going in and out and everything, but hopefully it should be good enough for you guys. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Alright, so starting off with the eyes today, I'm going to be taking a bit of the Tarte Shape Tape on my eyelids and I'm going to be blending that out with a Real Techniques sponge, and then I will be setting that with the RCMA translucent no color powder, and I probably said that backwards. Just so that way our eyes are nice and smoothed and primed for all of the shadows that we will be putting down next. The palette that I'm going to be using is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm taking a unfortunately dirty blending brush and I'm dipping it into this light tan beigey shade that I'm going to be using as my transition shade, and I'm just running that all throughout the crease. Using the same brush as before, I'm dipping into this orange shade, and I really wanted to make sure that this stood out against all of the reds and everything that we're doing later, so I was not afraid to go a little ham on it. With a smaller but fluffy blending brush, I'm dipping into this reddy orangey shade, and I'm only wanting to put this about halfway in. I don't want to close off my eyes too much, so that's why I'm mostly focusing it on the outer half of my eye. And I'm just blending and blending away to make sure that everything is nice and diffused. With a smaller and more densely packed blending brush, I'm dipping into that dark red shade, and the mattes in this palette are very pigmented, which is why you see me tapping off my brush a lot. So I just start off with a little bit and then I kind of built up from there. But yeah, I'm just focusing this color only on the outer corner of my eye and really blending it out with everything else. I'm taking some setting spray and a flat shader brush, and I'm going to be dipping into this really pretty kind of pinky rose gold color, and I'm going to be putting that all over my lid. It is such a pretty color, you guys. So taking my finger, I'm just going to be dipping into these two shades and popping that on the center of my eyelid just for a little extra kick, and then right after this I go ahead and do my liner and lashes. And the eyeliner that I used is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. I love it, and the lashes are the Kiss lashes in the style Shy, and I love them. I am mixing two foundations. The first one is the Camouflage Concealer by Hard Candy, and the other one is the Boots No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Foundation. And I love this combination. Oh my gosh, like it is so good because it's kind of like a demi-matte finish with these two combined. So I was in love with it. And I don't know, I don't ever hear of anybody talking about Hard Candy foundation anymore, but I feel like it used to be a really big thing, but I still really like it. So anyway, I'm just blending in my foundation with this e.l.f. buffing brush, I guess. And I'm gonna be also taking that, oh yeah, I forgot to do primer. I'm also gonna be taking that down my neck because I dyed my hair today and I got a ton of blue dye on my neck, as you will see, and or if you haven't noticed already. Yeah, it got pretty bad. And then I pretty much always do this step whenever I do use a brush, and I just take my beauty blender and bounce it all over my skin just to blend out any harsh lines that the brush may have left. And then this is the Tarte Maracuja, I think that's how you say it, the Maracuja concealer, and this stuff is amazing. So I just dot it on and then I blend it in with my fingers a little bit, and then I go in with my sponge just so that way the product is a little bit more warmed up. To add a little bit more highlight to the face, I'm taking the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer, and this is such a good concealer, you guys. It just blends out like a dream, and I'm just going to be adding that to wherever I want highlight, so, you know, the usual places. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge. And then to set all that, I'm going to take the RCMA No Color Powder and I'm going to dip my sponge into that, and then I don't usually use enough to where it's considered baking because it just kind of absorbs into the skin and I don't ever have to brush anything away. So that's what I do to set my concealer pretty much. And then this part is purely optional, but I like to add a little bit of the Bare Minerals Blemish Ready Powder Foundation to any of my problem areas just to add a little bit more coverage. And you know, you never know, there might be some good ingredients in there for me or something, but I just like to do this step and I paid a lot of money for this powder, so I'm gonna use it. To set the rest of my face, I'm taking the same good old powder from before on a brush that I actually got from Target. It's by Up and Up, and it is surprisingly good, you guys. I would check it out if you can. Now this looks like the same brush as before, but it is not. So anyway, I'm dipping into those two shades that we used on our crease from earlier, and be warned because less is more. And I'm just going to be running those shades on my lower lash line. I don't have any mascara right now, so I am just going to take my eyeliner and basically just paint my lashes a little bit to make them darker. Taking a small smudge brush, I am going to dip into one of the lightest shades in the palette, and I'm going to use that to highlight my inner corners and my brow bone. My all-time favorite is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, so I'm just taking that on a Real Techniques blush brush, and I am obviously just bronzing up my face. To add just a little bit more of a contour, I'm taking this Smashbox palette with a tapered brush, and I'm dipping into this kind of beigey tan shade, and I'm really just making sure that it only goes where I want there to be a slight shadow, so I'm being very, very light with this. I'm going to be using the Essence Satin Touch blush, and I love kind of brushing it more towards the temples of my face now, instead of just putting it all over the apples of my cheeks, but I do put whatever's left on the apples of my cheeks. And then I'm going to just carve out that contour a little bit with some RCMA powder, and I kind of messed this up just a little bit, but not enough to tell, so we're just gonna pretend that I didn't mess it up. I forget the name of this palette, but I'm going to be taking the shade Moonlit Pearls on a fan brush, and I'm going to be using that to highlight my face and get the glow on. And then I take the shade Moonlit Pearls from e.l.f. and I'm just going to dust that right on the high points of my cheekbones, and also I'm going to be using that as my nose and Cupid's bow highlight. Right here I'm just dusting away that powder from before, and then I'm going to go in and do my lips. And for lips I used the NYX lip liner in Stockholm. And then for lip gloss I'm using the Soap & Glory Lip Plumping Gloss in Bare Enough. Alright you guys, that completes this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye! Just dance in the middle of the room by myself. I'm alright.